footballers. If you don't know me already, my name is Matthew Fayisa and I'm a medical student from London interested in sports medicine and player injuries. If you enjoy this sort of content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you personally can join our sports medicine community over here on YouTube. So Christian Eriksen treatment involved the insertion of something called an ICD, which stands for an implantable cardioverter defibrillator. An ICD is a small device which is placed in the upper chest, which is responsible for regulating the heart rhythm. When the heart rhythm goes out of sync, the ICD will apply a small shock to restore the natural rhythm of the heart. It's important to note that the heart already has a natural pacemaker known as the sinoatrial node, the SAN, which is in the right upper quadrant of the heart known as the right atrium. However, sometimes this can go awry, and as a result the heart may be too fast, irregular or too slow, and as a result of that, this ICD placed in Christian Eriksen's heart can actually restore the changes to put it back to its normal rhythm. Regarding how the surgeons would attach or place the ICD into Christian Eriksen's body, they would make a small incision on the collarbone, just in the upper chest here, and then put the ICD just beneath the skin. The leads of the ICD, so the wiring, will then be fed through the vessels. I believe it's the superior vena cava which takes blood from the upper portion to the heart, and what they do is they'll feed it through that superior vena cava, and then they will place it into 3 different sections of the heart, which will help with efficiency in terms of pumping and beating, as well as detecting any changes in electric potential. I've seen some media sources refer to an ICD as a pacemaker. This is not strictly correct. Yes, they do have similar functions in kind of correcting irregular heartbeats. However, an ICD, due to it being a defibrillator, has an additional function which allows it to restore rhythms. To describe visually this function, we can take a look at a basic 3-lead ECG, which has 5 different waves, a P, QRS, and a T wave. If there is an issue with the upper chambers of the heart, known as the atrium, which are responsible for filling when blood initially goes into the heart, you can see irregularity in the first wave, which is known as the P wave. This may be absent, too close to the QRS complex, or may even have a double peak. And what a double peak may signify is kind of a double contraction, which will actually prevent the efficient release of blood into the ventricles. Put very simply, if the QRS complex, which is kind of the zigzag line in the middle of the ECG, is too broad or wide, it may indicate a slow release of blood and reduction in the speed and efficiency of contractions. However, if it's too narrow, it may indicate a tachyarrhythmia, which means the heart is beating too quickly, resulting in a preemptively contraction before blood is able to be fully released from the lower chambers of the ventricles to the rest of the body. These are just some examples of the abnormalities that an ICD may seek to correct, and it's kind of a good way to visually see how these things work. Arrhythmias and cardiac arrest seem to be becoming more and more prevalent in football and also in other sports, with players such as Fabrice Muamba suffering a cardiac arrest in 2010, which caused him to retire. You have the young Ajax player Nori, and now Christian Eriksen. Regarding whether Eriksen will actually have to retire is another question which is so personal to him that none of us really have a say in what we want to happen. However, hopefully, fingers crossed, he's such a great player, such a technically gifted player, not only for Denmark but also his club teams, that it would be a nice thing to see him come back. However, obviously, if it's not safe, then perhaps going on the sidelines and retiring would be the best thing for him. However, what I did find interesting was that Fabrice Muamba, speaking to a news outlet in the UK, he mentioned that an ICD was the only chance for kind of Christian Eriksen to return to football. And that's quite interesting, because when I first initially saw it happen, and as all the world saw he was getting resuscitated, I thought it was it. I thought it was completely over. However, perhaps there is some light at the end of the tunnel for his football career, and he can return even if it's for a year or so. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens and kind of how he feels about it. However, it is also important to know that Daley Blind, the Netherlands player, also has an ICD. I don't believe he suffered a cardiac arrest, but I assume he must have some sort of arrhythmia. So perhaps there is some scope for Eriksen to return. However, until doctors kind of diagnose him and find out what actually went wrong, then probably we have no idea whether he's going to return. Let me know your thoughts on Christian Eriksen's cardiac arrest and the state of kind of cardiac abnormalities and arrhythmias in football in particular. I believe in the short future I'll be making a video on CPR, how to do it. I think it's very important skill to know, just in case someone drops or collapses right in front of you. It's something good to have, and it should provide you with a bit of confidence, as it's really easy to do and it can save lives at the end of the day. If you enjoyed this sort of content, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any videos in the future, and you personally can join our ever-growing sports medicine community over here on YouTube. But apart from that, I want to say thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.